Hello everyone. I hope I'm live now and I hope you can hear me. So if you can hear me, then just say hello, hi into the text message. I'm just looking onto my screen over here and the camera is over here. So just in case if you think that I'm looking somewhere else, then it's just my laptop over here. Okay, so let's give it a wait for a couple of more minutes so that more people can join in, and then we can start with the questions. I see some of them are already there in the wait list, and some of them are still joining. Hi Gaurav, hi Harish, hi Kamlesh. Oh, hi Kamlesh, you are here. How are you? Hi Pratik, hi Anurag. Okay, so success story Gaurav is asking. So what kind of a success story you wanna hear? I just be interested in. Oh, hey Sharath, hey Sudhanshu, hey Niranjan, hey Marath, hey Srinivas, hi, hello everyone, hey Ravi Teja. Okay, so success story. I don't know what kind of a success story you want to listen, but it's just that yeah, this channel has been 4 years old, and it has been started as just sharing my knowledge, and somehow it grown. Everyone started liking it, and yeah, that's how it has been so far actually. And yeah, you might have seen me speaking about quite a lot of topics like a cloud, DevOps, and AWS, GCP, Kubernetes, Helm. So all of these topics which I learned by myself also, and I have been just trying to document whatever I'm trying to learn. So that's how this channel has started, and that's become like now I'm reaching 40,000 subscribers. So it grown significantly in the past 4 years. But yeah, it took a lot of time, a lot of effort behind the scenes. So I cannot deny that. Oh, so there are around 25 people. Yeah, maybe. So there is a one question from Harish. I recently completed your playlist on AWS course. In that, I created VPC 10 more times. Now I can say I understood good about VPC. Oh yeah, so I got a lot of comment about the VPC setup and how why I am doing those VPC setup again and again in each tutorial. So the idea is that I just don't want to bring in a concept where you don't understand the like what's the networking behind it. So whenever you create spin up an EC2 instance, then you should know that in which subnet you are working, which VPC you are working, which region you are working. So that's why in each episode I covered the VPC setup again and again, and that received in the comments that yeah, you really liked it and you really understood the concept of a VPC. So VPC is just one of the basic building block whenever you work with AWS or any other cloud provider, whether it's a GCP, whether it's an Azure. So the terminologies changes over there, but those are the basic building block which you should focus first, rather than going on to the services like EC2, EKS, and then and many more services. There are many, and right now it's just not popping in my head, but there are many services in AWS. So just focus on those concepts first before jumping into any other topic. So future of a DevOps and SRE, Sarath has asked. So future of a DevOps and SRE, it's hard to say because I jumped into DevOps and SRE like 5 or 6 years ago. Before that, I was like a pure Java developer. But DevOps and SRE is just like if you take a look, then you whenever you start coding, then you're doing the DevOps and SRE from the day one. Actually, you write a code, you deploy a code, you run a code. So the future of a DevOps and SRE, the only thing which I would say is just focus on the basics first. Don't focus on the cloud on a first day. just forget about cloud on a first stage. Just focus on the basic principle. The basic principle I'm talking about is that the networking concept, because same networking concept which is running on premises will be applicable onto the cloud. Same server troubleshooting step will be applicable onto the cloud. So just focus on the basic concept first, like a bash scripting, Ansible, and networking. After that, you can use some more automation tool like a Jenkins, Bamboo, Argo CD. So those are the quite crucial tool to get yourself started. And in DevOps, in future of the DevOps SRE, so I think those tools will mature more, and there will be few more tools which will be coming up. So just try to learn those tools, and also constantly practice on getting yourself more experienced in the services which you are using on a cloud, whether it's Azure, GCP, or AWS. Second, how can we connect with you? Also, could you please share your email ID? So my email ID is already there on my channel, and I can put it down also, but sometimes it's really hard for me to write down a reply to everyone because I get quite a lot of mails on my email ID. So it becomes a little difficult for me to reply everyone because it takes a certain amount of a time to reply 40 or 50 mails in a day. But of course, I will just write it down, my email ID, in the chat for you. Hi Rahul, how are you? Waiting for the new video on AWS DevOps. Anyway, great to see you live. Hope you will continue on the monthly basis. Yeah, I think it's just finding the suitable time to record and publish it, because recording, publishing, editing, it takes a lot of time for me. So it just depends upon the bandwidth I'm having, and then I produce. But of course, you will see quite a lot of videos soon. Okay, so Shubham is asking, hi sir, so recently started watching AWS video. I would be good if you cover the whole networking topics on AWS. So Shubham, just focus on the part one of networking, which I have already uploaded. That's quite a comprehensive networking sessions I have took over there. If you complete that networking part one, then you are almost 70 to 80% done with your networking on AWS, if you are specifically looking for AWS. Then Pratik, how do we approach an interview without any cloud certification, but I have a hands-on in my company? Means how can I frame it precisely? Please guide on this. Okay, so I do appreciate that you have an experience, because quite a lot of candidates say to me that they have a certification. So I always value experience rather than certification. So I would say to you that just create some basic projects by yourself, and just include the tools like Jenkins, or maybe Tecton, or maybe GitLabs, or maybe GitHub Action. So these like a CI/CD tools, just include it. Also include Ansible, and then also include some cloud services, maybe AWS, GCP, and Azure. So just try to use this tool to set up a pipeline which deploys a server on any of the cloud services. So that will give answer quite a lot of question to which will help you in preparation of the interview. Because when I meet candidate for interviews and all those things, so I don't look out for a certification. Certification is good, that will make you stand out, but it's not sufficient enough for me to evaluate any candidate. So I always go and ask for the more implementation based question. I just want to hear the approach of a candidate. So if you follow these tool set and just go follow along with that, then it will just bring out the real answer, real experience out of you, and that will definitely help you in interview. Okay, so let me check few more question. Gaurav is asking, working as a DevOps since 2020. I am also from Bhopal. I want to become a great DevOps guys too. Of course, Gaurav, you can become a DevOps guy. Just be active on an open source community. Try to reply some answers on Stack Overflow, GitHub, and try to share your knowledge. Then you will definitely be a really good DevOps guy. Kamlesh is asking one question that I wanted to clarify since long in DevOps SRE, everyday new tools are adding up. What tools should we focus as a core? Please talk about the current job market conditions for DevOps. Kamlesh, so tools, I still focus on Jenkins, if you don't believe, because Jenkins is quite old, but still Jenkins, quite a lot of companies use Jenkins. But apart from that, the major tools in the DevOps and the Jenkins, in the CI/CD is the GitHub Action, GitLabs. Those are the tools I would like you to focus on. And if I'm not forgetting, what else you have asked? Everyday tools. Okay, so those are from pipelines. Ansible, which is a really good one. And Ansible, I know you are really good at Ansible, but just focus on the Ansible Tower. Those are really good automation tool. And then pick the cloud. And in the cloud, just start with any cloud with whatever you pick. Just pick with the networking first. It doesn't matter you're a network guy or not, but pick the networking first. Otherwise you will get screwed anywhere, because you will not understand how the requests are routing, how to troubleshoot. So just focus on the networking, and after that just focus on the services which company is using. Just don't go random anywhere. Just focus in your project, like what kind of services they are using. Are they using EC2? Are they using lambdas? Are they using EKS? Or are they using any serverless service of cloud platform? So just focus on making those skills more sharpened. And also take a look onto the log management, because there should be a log tool. So you can either go with the Splunk, then Elk Stack, and then Datadog if you go for more proprietary. But Datadog is not free for everyone. Splunk is not free for everyone. Elk Stack, I think it's free, so you can take a look onto the log from that perspective. So that's how I'm giving you the whole picture, like how you should focus on these DevOps tools. So CI/CD pipeline I covered the cloud, I covered after that the log management. Then also you should focus on some alerting tools, like in AWS we have a alert system over there, so you could focus and get some more experience onto those, how to set up those alerting. So these are the tools I would say just focus more on day-to-day basis, and of course put a more attention on what companies or what your current project needs. But also shoot some question later also. I'm happy to answer. Exact roadmap for Azure GCP cloud with DevOps services. Okay, so I'm preparing for Azure GCP. I'll see. I need to take out some time, but soon I will be preparing the similar session for Azure series also. So I will be starting Azure series. So there you will get quite a lot of answers on Azure and GCP. And Anatole, hi, I'm from Benin. I love the way you teach. I'm software engineer. I would like to change to DevOps. What roadmap should follow? So if you're a software engineer, then I think half of the work you are already doing. You are also writing a code, deploying a code, troubleshooting a code. So that's a primary role of a DevOps guy as well. So if you are trying to switch, then focus on CI/CD pipeline, CI/CD tools, Jenkins. I'm repeating it again and again. Jenkins, Jenkins, GitLabs, GitHub Action, Argo CD, Tecton. So just focus on these tools. Just pick any tool which you are comfortable with. Then go for Ansible, which is must to have. Ansible Tower. Terraform, I forgot to tell you. Terraform is neat must tool right now. Quite a lot of people are using Terraform, so just focus on Terraform also, and then pick whatever cloud platform you wanna have experience with. AWS, there is a whole series. Just follow that series. And if you're Azure, then just look out for a tutorial somewhere else, because I don't have the Azure right now with me. Soon it will be there. Then you can just focus on the Azure. Then hello, Sir Gadam Prasad. Hello, Rahul. Good to connect. I'm working as a system admin. Your videos help me a lot in many ways. I'm into infrastructure part. I want to be the same, but want to improve myself with your tip. Practice more. I would say practice more. Do more live projects. That will really help you to get more knowledge. And if you want to create some content like me, then you can start blogging, write your own blog post, share your knowledge. When you'll start sharing the knowledge, then more things you will learn. Actually, that's what I have learned so far. When you start teaching, then you start learning quite a lot at the same time. So the same thing I do. I'm not also an expert on every services on the cloud. I just learn, try to put up some good presentation, and then try to record the session. That's how I also try to learn, because I also struggle quite a lot when I'm in issues. Sujit, would you be able to explain what is the CRD operation in Kubernetes? What is of use? So are you asking about the CRUD operation in Kubernetes? If that, then Kubernetes, it depends. It's really a big, broader question, like what you're trying to achieve. But can you be a little bit more precise on the question so that I can answer more precisely on the Kubernetes? Thanks for everything, Sagar Mohan. Oh, thanks a lot, Sagar. I'll keep on posting. Raghuveer, how do you keep up with all DevOps tools like Ansible, Terraform, Docker, Kubernetes? I would like to excel in Kubernetes and Docker. Practice in Kubernetes and Docker. Just install a Kubernetes like Kind, which is a very lightweight tool. So use Kind to experiment or try to run some Kubernetes cluster onto your local laptop. That's the best way to learn Kubernetes. Docker, try to get it installed Docker onto your local laptop. Build your own images. Use Docker Hub to push those Docker images. If you're not into cloud, then I'm just suggesting the alternative. Build Docker images, put your code into the Docker image, push to the Docker Hub, and then use that Docker image to pull into Kubernetes cluster. And that Kubernetes cluster, you can run it with a Minikube Kind. Those are like a free open source, which you can run onto your local system. So that's a good way to improve your Kubernetes and Docker. Okay, then please talk about the DevOps market. Kamlesh is asking. So DevOps market, Kamlesh, it's pretty much depends upon the company's requirement also. So it depends what company have a requirement, to be honest. But in general, DevOps market, just master one cloud at least. Just don't go for all the cloud, just master one cloud and be honest with your experience. Like, hey, I know AWS, then I know AWS. And in AWS also, what are the areas you have worked? What are the services you have worked? So just be honest about that. Same goes with Azure and GCP. But the majority I see DevOps, like if you are into DevOps, then not into data engineering ETL, then it's AWS. If you are into data or ETL stuff, then it's Azure. Azure has a bigger share. And yeah, that's the market share, I would say. But still, quite a lot of companies depends like how their previous setup was and how they are trying to migrate to AWS, or they are completely into AWS or any other cloud services. So it depends quite a lot. I cannot give you the exact answer because every company has a different setup. Some company use EC2 for deployment. Some company use Kubernetes for deployment. Some companies use ECS, containerless services. So it depends like what company is looking for. So that's I would say. So based on that, at least try to get an experience on these like EC2, Kubernetes, and containerless service, which is ECS. So those will be a really good starting point for you. Harish, last year I learned Python, SQL, Excel, Power BI, Tableau. Then where did the question lost? Okay, like Glue, Athena. Then I love AWS. Start learning from about AWS. So which path I choose? Okay, so now you're talking about the data and ETL. So if you are into data and ETL, then just focus on the Power BI, Redshift. If you're using on AWS, then those are the tools you should focus on. You should not put more focus on the CI/CD and pipeline stuff, Ansible and automation. Just put more focus on the Redshift, implementing the ETL, Athena, all those things. So that would be a really good starting point for you. Hello, sir. I'm facing some issues with the ECS container. My container is not handling sudden spike. The container before the auto scaling work, my container is deleting. I think, Niranjan, there is something wrong with your auto scaling setup. I can easily say you need to, I cannot give you right now the exact troubleshooting step, but check the auto scaling, how you are scaling out your containers. So those will be a crucial point to debug your ECS problem. VS Patola, everyone asking write Python code for different question for cloud DevOps role. What's the best resource for a Python interview question and answer? Well, to be honest, no one is going to ask you question directly on Python. To be honest, Python is just a scripting language will help you to do the automation. So most of the questions will be like implementing. That will be a written questions which might you get in Python. So they will give you some assignment which you need to finish in Python. So that where I see, and good there are lots of tutorial on YouTube. I think there are millions of tutorial over there. You can just refer any Python tutorial. Python is really easy to understand. So that's my take on Python. Arjun Sharma, should we also focus on learning programming beside learning clouds and DevOps? Yes, you should have some programming languages. I learned Java. I practiced Java for a really long time. Then I learned Python. So that's how it is. So you should learn some programming language behind the scene. But if you don't know Java, then I would still encourage you to learn Python, because we use Python quite a lot in DevOps tools. Okay, then Suraj, thank you for excellent session. Eagerly waiting for Azure session. Soon it will be there. And Ravi Teja, what he's asking, let me scroll it. Sir, I'm working in a company as a DevOps engineer, but don't have a project. I want to switch. I have done most POC. Can I add those in my resume? Does it work? Of course, those POC work will add, but make sure those POC are not just a hello world. You should include a proper DevOps enterprise level project, which caters the need of setting up the domain, load balancing, DNS setup, your log management, your active passive deployment, blue-green deployment. So you should consider all those things into your project if you're doing as a POC. Then it will be fruitful. Don't just go for hello world POC example. That will not bring in any value. Ubaid Mundewadi, how to transition my career from a QA to cloud DevOps. I watched your video also from some Udemy courses and also done lots of hands-on. So Ubaid, I think just do some good projects, write some good blog, either on a Medium or somewhere, so that you can showcase your skill to your interviewer where you're attending the interview, and also contribute more onto GitHub. Create an open source GitHub repository so that everyone can go there and look what kind of a project you have built in. So that's where I see you can just start transitioning into the more DevOps role and showcasing your skill. It's not just resume, something else needs to be shown to the interviewer that where you excel. So that's my take on your question. Okay, Gaurav, can you recommend some books? Books are hard to recommend because the best source which I refer is the original documentation from a cloud provider. It's AWS, Azure, and GCP. Just read their documentation. Just make a habit of reading their documentation. Books, it's good. I'm not complaining about any books, or I'm not saying books are bad, but I feel that those documentation are more developers oriented and which are easy to understand. At least that's my experience with it. Your videos are the best. I have seen better than all Udemy paid courses. Keep it up. Oh, thanks, Karthi. Thanks for your appreciation. Sujit Roshan, custom resource definition. I don't know what you're trying to say here. Varun Akutola, hello Rahul. Can you please create a video on how to draw architectural diagram, please? There is no proper tutorial available for the same. Architectural diagram, okay, I will try to cover it, but my architectural diagram in presentation, which you see, it's just a PPT. I'm just drawing those boxes from my PPT and circles and all those things. So I don't do any proper like enterprise level diagrams and all those things. But good point. I'll try to make a note and try to come up with some ideas on creating those diagrams. Thanks for the good input. Ravi Teja, sir, I'm working in a company, DevOps engineer, but I have a project. I think I answered that one. Sulochna, bro, you really helped me a lot in learning Ansible. Much love. Hope you be blessed more. Thank you for teaching us. Oh, thanks a lot, Sulochana. VS Patola. Sorry, I might be pronouncing name incorrectly, but the name are like abbreviation over here, so it's hard to read out some of the names. So really sorry about that. In future, expecting Azure crash courses in 1 hour and build mini project. So 1 hour crash course, I hardly think there will be any 1 hour crash course from my side, because if I'm not able to explain any concept, then I will not put it onto the channel. And so that's how it is. I don't want to just put some very speedy courses where people don't get a value out of it. So that's where I will be putting Azure courses, but not like a 1 hour crash course. Okay, and Deepak Chandola, भाई मुझे एक proper roadmap बता दो cloud और future jobs के बारे में. Sorry, Deepak, you are asking about a question about the future roadmap, so I think I have repeated. Focus with CI/CD pipeline, pick any CI/CD tool, focus on Ansible, focus on Terraform, and then jump to the cloud. Pick any cloud where you feel comfortable, whether it's GCP, Azure, or AWS, and then start working over there. Pick any one of the services, but start with the basics always. Start with the like a bash, Ansible, then jump to CI/CD, then jump to Docker also, then choose Terraform, and then with the Terraform use any cloud service provider. So that's a very simple roadmap for anyone to get started. Marat Bokter, how GPT chat help to solve issue regarding the clouds? Can you rely on it? Trends to hallucinate a lot when clouds. Okay, so chat GPT, I'm also using it, but to be honest, it's not that up to the mark when it comes to troubleshooting the actual issues. It can guide you, but it will never give you a proper answer. The best thing to use ChatGPT is for using the utility scripts. Like if you want to implement really quick something in Python, then just write it down. It will give you an example, like a string manipulation, concatenation, reading a CSV file, dumping a CSV file, modifying a CSV file. So these kind of a utility works is really good with the ChatGPT. So which saves a lot of time for you. But troubleshooting, no, ChatGPT or any other AI tool is not up to the mark. And I don't waste that much of time on troubleshooting and using those tools. Ubaid also about give my SSA exam coming Saturday. Okay, good luck with your solutions SSA exam. I really wish you good luck for that. Goro, what tools and device do you use to make this video? Okay. So what tools I use? And I have a MacBook. If I could show you. So this is the MacBook I use, and that's a really good investment I did because there are a lot of tools I wanted to use, but MacBook was the final solution for me. I don't have a studio. I just use my iPhone. I'm shooting it with my iPhone. I could have shown you, but I'm just recording this session from there. And this mic I have, and I also have, I think somewhere here I have just put it. I'll show you this mic, which I invested in. So these are the tools I have. I don't have any studio, nothing. I just have this my workbench, which is my daytime office, and in the evening I just record the sessions over here, nothing more than that. So very bare minimum setup. Whatever mobile I have, I am using it. My MacBook, which I used it because Windows laptop were not useful for me because it was hanging. There was always a lag. There was always like a long time to process the video. So just I switched to MacBook, and I'm really happy with it. Okay, and let's go ahead. Gaurav, Dhanashri, please come with an interview series. Interview series, I know you quite a lot of you guys are asking, so probably I'm just thinking about one idea. Maybe I will invite you guys to be a part of my interview, which I can record, hopefully in future. So that's something would be more useful because it doesn't make sense that I repeat a question and I just prepare 100 question and then share it with you. It will be so boring for anyone. So maybe that could be a idea from my side. Maybe I'll start inviting some of you to come be a part of that interview, and that could benefit everyone. So that could I can do in future. Okay, Rishav, how is DevOps field for fresher? Do you company hire fresher for DevOps role? I am full stack developer. Should I learn DevOps? You should learn DevOps. Yes, you might be doing the DevOps already. You don't know it because you might be running your full stack application somewhere, running it, deploying it, troubleshooting it. So you are already doing it. So yes, just prepare some project, share it somewhere so that you can put it onto your resume, and then you will see a benefit over there. And be precise on explaining what you have done. Just don't go with the bookish definition. So that I would say. Okay, our Vox. Hi Rahul, Ranjit here. Completed all Linux, DevOps, networking, AWS, Azure Cloud, but didn't receive interview calls as a fresher and graduation from a non-IT background. Give me some suggestion. So Ranjit, focus first on your resume. Try to bring a really good value to your resume. I'm not sure, I have not taken a look onto your resume, so I cannot comment without looking at it. So resume is the first phase, so where you should be honest. Don't include everything into resume. Just one tip from my side. You know tools, but don't include everything into resume. Just include what you know and what you would be able to explain, and showcase something contribution on an open source. If you are a fresher, then that will bring in some value to your resume and your resume will be get picked up. Thanks. We'll start. Ubaid is saying thanks. I'll start working on GitHub. MKS. Hi Rahul. Hope you are good. I have been watching your videos for a long time. Could you brief DevOps tool in demand for CI/CD process? I think I have covered already. So Jenkins, GitLabs, GitHub Action, and Bitbucket. Those are the good tools for implementing CI/CD. Rahul, what about cloud security? Cloud security, there is no silver bullet for cloud security, and you should practice the cloud security. There are lots of things which comes into cloud security. You're securing your request, managing your certificate, managing the SSL, how the requests are coming, how you're setting up the proxy, how you're setting up the load balancer. So there are a lot of things which come into picture, how your VPN setup is. So security is a really broad term. So you should start whatever application you're building, how secure that application is. So that will be the first point for security. Then comes the load balancing, DNS management, SSL, load balancer, web application firewall setting up. So you can do and improve your security understanding on top of that. And Muhilan Rangaraj, hi Rahul, can you suggest any tool for visualizing our AWS resources, for example, like Cloud Mapper or any other tool? Hey Muhilan, I'm really sorry, I don't have any tool which comes directly into my mind, but I'll try to see if some tools which we can use, because most of the companies doesn't allow any external tool to use into their cloud premises. So that's the situation. And what about the next question, Charit? Why choose MacBook over Linux system? Okay, so why I choose MacBook over a Linux system? Okay, so the native integration of my iPhone with my MacBook. So once I plug my iPhone to my MacBook, then it becomes a webcam. So I don't use inbuilt webcam, but instead it becomes my iPhone becomes a webcam, and iPhone has a really good camera. It can produce a really good quality. So that's the first thing for me. I just want to have a good quality, and I don't want to have those DSLR, heavy DSLR running onto my desktop. So that's the first thing. I choose MacBook. That is not possible with the Linux. I love Linux, but the problem is I cannot natively use my iPhone as a webcam over there. There are some plugins, but those plugins make my work slow. I get quite a lot of lag onto recording the videos. So that's why I use primary reason for using Mac. Apart from that, the M1 chip, the silicon chip of MacBook really speed up quite a lot of work for me. It is really fast in terms of rendering the videos, processing the videos, recording the live stream, recording the video, opening the editor, running the code over there, compiling the code. So it's really boost up quite a lot of work. So that's why I use MacBook over Linux. How important, so Kuda is asking, how important having a Kubernetes certified administrator certificate? Kubernetes certified, okay, so certification is anyway good to have it showcased onto your resume, but I would still ask, like, have you had any real-time experience? Have you combined Helm chart along with the Kubernetes? Have you combined Argo CD, Helm chart, and Kubernetes all together? If you have done, then it will bring in some value. Otherwise, certification is just not bringing any value to your skill or resume. Okay, and Rishabh Raj is asking, as a beginner full stack developer, what are some of the DevOps tools that I should use in my project for showcasing in my resume? Okay, so if you are a full stack developer, then why don't you pick any full stack application which you have developed and deploy on a cloud? Pick any cloud, use Terraform, use Ansible, and do the automation deployment. Build a complete pipeline for your full stack application and get it deployed onto cloud. That will be a really good project for you to get started. Charit, what about Azure DevOps? Good tool set. All clouds are good. There is nothing wrong about it. It just It's just a matter of choice for a companies which cloud platform they are using. They are using Azure, they are using AWS, or they are using GCP. So just depends what you like, where you want to excel. Some people just like AWS, some people like Azure, some people like GCP. It's just a matter of choice and flavors. RR mocks, yes, let's start interview mock series that gain real-time interview and other thing. Sure, I'll plan something, and I might invite some of you. There are a lot of candidate which might be interested. So I'll just keep a look on my community tab, and there I will just put a post, and I might select one or two candidate over there to be a part of this series. And then we can just keep on repeating in future. Ashish is saying, thanks, sir. Content is really helpful. Thanks a lot, Ashish. Kashinath, Rahul, what should I do if I know 12 tools right now? How many should I mention in resume? Like basic tools, show all tools, showcase my knowledge. Showcase your knowledge and the tools which are supporting that knowledge, not the opposite. You should not showcase all the tool and you don't have the knowledge. You should present your knowledge first and then attach the tools to that knowledge. Then it will bring in some value, and also put on some good projects onto your resume which you have really worked on, rather than just copy pasted project. Are you going to make a series on a shell scripting or Python for DevOps? Shell scripting and Python. Python, there is already a lot of tutorial on a Google and YouTube, so which you can cover. But I would like to hear from you what kind of a Python tutorial you want to learn, because basic Python is really easy. You can just follow any tutorial. I'm not saying just follow me, but follow any tutorial. But Python, if you are really interested in learning some really crucial concept, then I can bring in some sessions on Python. And shell scripting. Shell scripting also beneficial when you have a good project. Just putting hello print and here and there, adding some variable, printing those value will not bring anything onto the table. So just suggest some project ideas from your side so that I can attach those bash scripting, Python, and some DevOps tool, and then we can bring in some really good session on top of it. Arbaz, what is the future of our DevOps in regards with the Gen AI? GenAI, quite a lot of people are asking GenAI, and to be honest, I have not worked on to the GenAI or any kind of a AI tool, LLM, which is a new area for me. So I'm afraid to say that I cannot answer that question because I don't want to put some wrong information or incorrect information where I'm not comfortable. So Arbaz, I'm really sorry, I cannot answer that question. Your sim farming, your videos are great. Just found that other day. I started to understand AWS Cloud. Keep up the good work. Thanks, sim farming. Prince Saha, Rahul, can you show us how live match configure with AWS? Also, it will show advertisement after over a half time. I couldn't get your question, Prince Saha. It's really a bit confusing to me, to be honest. Shiva Kumar, hi Rahul. In production environment, what is the strategy mostly used for Kubernetes manifest deployment? It GitOps widely used currently. Okay, so for Kubernetes, the preferred tool is Argo CD, and in production, we always go with the Helm chart. So the combination how it works is like Argo CD, Helm chart, and then Helm chart managing your Kubernetes clusters. Then you can use the Kubernetes commands for troubleshooting, managing the Kubernetes cluster. But the preferred way is this, like Argo CD for CI/CD implementation. You can use Jenkins also, that's not a problem. You can use GitLabs also, but Argo CD would be the preferred way. Then use Helm chart and then go with the Kubernetes. Some companies don't prefer Helm chart because of their regulatory. If they are a finance company, so they might not use Helm chart. So in that case, you have to use Argo CD and then directly Kubernetes. Harshal Mitkari, I am a new subscriber for your channel. I saw some of your video. I'm getting interested in cloud now. I have one question that in future AI will replace the DevOps job. I have not seen the future next 5 years, but of course AI is not going to replace the DevOps jobs for sure, because DevOps is just not that one silver bullet which AI can digest and fix everything. Because in enterprise environment there are lots of ifs and buts, and there are lots of complications when you start working into on-premise. Each company's environment is different from other company, so rest assured that AI is not going to replace the DevOps. Rishabh Raj, thanks for answering. Okay, sure, no problem. Ashok Chaudhary, hi Rahul, Ashok here. I just started learning AWS DevOps. I have a question. When we work in a microservice-like project, how does developers generally manage the deployment process? Okay, so it depends on the deployment process. If you are developing a microservice, then how you're gonna put your microservice onto the cloud? Are you gonna create a Docker container? If you're going to create a Docker container, then there is an option like a serverless option like a ECS, which you can use to deploy your microservice. So wrap your microservice in a Docker container, ship the Docker container to Docker registry, and then from Docker registry, pull the Docker image and deploy into ECS or Lambda. Then you can just use your microservice. Other part is you can just like create some jar if you are using a Spring Boot. If you are using Python, then you can just ship those code or the Python file into the server, and then you can just deploy your microservices from there onwards. Okay, Abu Bakar, hi Rahul, I'm finding it hard to connect with you on Discord. Hi Abu Bakar, yeah, I think I'll try to respond you on the Discord. Just put me a question. Sometime it's just a time difference. I also have, because I'm located in Europe, Sweden, so there is quite a lot of time difference when some people message me. So it's already night for me, or it just time management thing sometimes comes into picture, and that's why I couldn't able to answer you. But please shoot a question. I'll try to reply you. Thanks for that. Harish Taga, please create a video on CIDR and how to divide them in subnets. Yeah, CIDR is a good concept. I prepared a short video. There is a one short on my channel which you can refer, where I have shown like how the calculation works. But I can create a full-fledged like a 4 or 5 minute video on CIDR and subnet ranges. That would be a good idea for putting it onto the channel. Thanks for that. Mo Magdi, which is better to study alongside with AWS? Learn Terraform, learn Ansible, learn CI/CD tools. So those are really good. Learn any programming language like Python, Go, Java. It's up to you. If you really like want to work in Java, you can use it. And yeah, those are the tools I would suggest to go with along from cloud. Okay, Nikhil Srinivasan, Python for DevOps specifically. Okay, but what's your question? I couldn't get it. Amol Thorat, what interview expect during interview if a candidate has a more than 14 year of experience in DevOps? Okay, so if you have a 14 years of experience in DevOps, then I expect you to manage an enterprise level deployment which can handle millions of requests coming to you. So an application should be able to handle that millions of requests along with the security, along with all the load balancing, DNS, catering the need of active passive deployment, blue green deployment, canary deployment. So you should be able to answer all those things. How will you manage the release cycle? How will you do the zero downtime deployment? And yeah, these sort of question I would be interested in asking if you have a 14 plus years of experience, because this is a really broad thing, and once a candidate start explaining these processes, then there I can easily see quite a lot of things can be picked up from their experience. So that would be my say from 14-year plus experience in DevOps. Arbaj, thank you very much, sir. You're welcome. Ashok Chaudhary, how does IAC, infrastructure as a code, is managed in the real world? What is used to do? Okay, so I use Terraform. I use all seven, like everyday Terraform for infrastructure management. So it depends upon company. So if company is able for managing the Terraform code and infrastructure as a code, if they don't, then you can use the Terraform CLI along with the any pipelines like Jenkins, GitHub Action, GitLab. So those also works quite well with the integration. So Terraform is a go-to tool for everyone nowadays. Apart from that, there is a CloudFormation also for AWS, but now I'm talking about the AWS side. So there is a CloudFormation which is also used as a infrastructure as a code. Majhar Farid, I'm struggling to make my Windows machine as a host in Ansible. What to do? That's a really specific question. But if you are using your own laptop as a host, then I would recommend to install WSL and then give it a try to make it a host, because Windows and Ansible doesn't go well with it. So in the Windows, just try to install WSL and then you will get a Linux system onto your system, onto your Windows machine, and then you should be able to make it work. Onto your Windows machine, and then you should be able to make it work. Cartoon City, that's a good name. I want to start a AWS cloud engineer. Do I need to learn coding or a DevOps things? DevOps without coding, I don't know how would you imagine, but DevOps without coding, I couldn't digest. So I would say focus on one programming language, pick Python, Go, and be good at it, and then go for DevOps. Because once you learn something in Python or Go or any other language, then build the application, deploy that application somewhere, and then you are doing the DevOps. So that's how I see it. So there is no silver bullet which tells like, hey, I don't want to learn coding, but I want to learn DevOps. So it will not happen. Learn coding, build application, deploy application, and then see, then you are doing a DevOps thing. Viju JK started learning auto scaling concept in is really needed. VPC implementation. I have used default VPC already running EC2. Now I want to scale concept. Please explain in real time project. There is an auto scaling session onto my channel, and don't use default VPC of cloud. Create your own VPC, manage your own subnet, manage your own route table, and then try to do the auto scaling. Default VPC doesn't provide you a full understanding of the networking along with the auto scaling which you're trying to implement. So just a tip from my side. Okay. Shrikant is am a black sheep in DevOps. How do I manage not to caught up by robo? Oh, okay. There are quite a lot of slang. But Shrikant, could you please put it in a simple word that would be easy for me to understand? You can just put a next question in the chat and I'll try to answer those. Mo Magdi, what could cloud service I can study along with the AWS? Go with Azure, go with GCP. Those are the popular cloud platform. And again, it depends upon the requirement. What the next role you're trying to look for. Are you going for data ETL? Then I would recommend go for Azure. And if you want to go with the GCP, then it depends, like are the next employer is really into the GCP or Google Cloud, or they are only working GCP, then just learn GCP. So it's just like a demand, and it's just a demand. You just need to fulfill the demand. So just look out what demand is there and then just learn those cloud platform. Loka Shakti, I was hired for DevOps engineer role, but the project has been more support role. Is it a good to switch to continue in the same side project? Everyone started. I after 14-15 years, I still do a support work quite a lot. So there is no like denying factor, because everyone say I don't want to work in a support, but I really find it difficult. How cannot you work in support? Because of course once you build the application, then you share with your client, and if client is not happy, then he will come back to you. And I'm still like 14-15 years working in programming, cloud, DevOps, and I still play a support role. I do troubleshoot issues. So try to continue with your job, and in the parallel try to learn more skills so that you feel something more development stuff as well. So that's my take on it. Mo Magdi, in shell scripting same as is shell scripting same as bash, or there is a difference? Can you mention the difference between bash and shell scripting? No, there is no difference in the shell scripting and bash. Bash is just you create a file and you put all the shell command into that file, and then you execute it as a bash script. But shell script is like just like an individual command which you run onto your terminal. So that's a very basic difference, if I would like to put it. How you started career from a Java to DevOps? I saw your LinkedIn profile. Okay, Java, and then I switched. So I started with the Java. Of course, that's true. I started back in 2009 with the JSP Servlet, EJB, Hibernate, and then gradually to Spring Boot, microservices. And then eventually, like in 2013-14, I started using Jenkins, where we are building the pipeline to deploy our Java application on like on-premise server. So that was the first DevOps experience. Then taking it further, then Ansible came in. I don't recall the year. So along with the Java application Jenkins, then we started using Ansible to automate the deployment. Then Ansible got added. Then this is how this whole progression worked. And then later on, then Splunk got added. Then Prometheus Grafana got added. Then after that, company started to shift towards the cloud, which is AWS. Then AWS got added. So this is how the transition has happened for me from Java to being a cloud and DevOps engineer. How you started career? Okay, I answered that. Varun is asking, Rahul, can you please create a project video using API Gateway and SQS? Yeah. API Gateway and SQS, that's I just finished the EC2 series on my channel. So EC2, I have covered pretty much all the topics. So next topic I'm just planning to pick is S3 or API Gateway and SQS. So either of three, you will see it soon onto the channel. Bash or Python for AWS? Both. You can't hide away from Bash or Python. You just need to learn both. The answer is quite simple. Inevitable being, I recently analyzed DevOps job requirement, my area, and noticed that Groovy is frequently mentioned. Is it widely used in enterprise level? Uh, Groovy, if you are using Jenkins, then yes, Groovy is used quite a lot, because that's the only application which is still built in Groovy and DSL, and that's where it has been used. Apart from that, if company has built some legacy application, then they might be using Groovy. Apart from that, I don't see any real-time use case of Groovy. Viju, okay, understand now auto scaling time, how deployment happen. It's once easy to have a new code, everything in this case, or how it happen in real time. Give me an example. Auto scaling, it's just not that you deploy a new code. Auto scaling, there are certain threshold which you need to meet. So if those threshold are exceeding, then auto scaling will come into picture. So if one instance is down, two instances down, then auto scaling will spin up other instances for you. And once those instances count is met, and but if still your CPU and RAM threshold are exceeding, then the auto scaling will try to scale up some more CPUs or EC2 instances for you. GNR, hi Rahul, good to see you in market. I heard many AI tool. Which one is good to opt for DevOps? I am using ChatGPT as of now, and I'm managing quite good with it. Not managing, but I'm just using it for like preparing some utility script and all, not more than that. So it depends, like what tool you like. I prefer ChatGPT to be honest, to use it, but it just use any tool which you feel comfortable with. So ChatGPT is my go-to tool right now. Sai Kumar, I just want to know one thing about Terraform. What is the biggest issue you ever faced in Terraform? Please give me an answer to this question. The biggest issue with the Terraform is the state management, because whenever you write a Terraform code, then it creates a state. And if another person is also working, then he is also trying to modify the same state. So once you go into enterprise level application, then those state managements are really crucial. So also once you start building those application on top of one another, then those state file becomes really heavy, and then it takes a lot of time. So for example, a simple enterprise application can spin up 12,000, 20,000 resources using Terraform. So making a changes into those Terraform code can be crucial, and managing those states can be crucial. If you miss something, then it will be a really trouble for everyone in the organization. So that's a challenging situation to manage the states in Terraform when you're migrating from project from one system to another system, or from one repo to another repo. Then you need to migrate those stats from one location to another location. So that could be the challenging situation in Terraform. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much reaching to the today's live session. I have a very limited time right now in my hand, 4 more minutes. So I'll try to answer as much as possible, but don't worry. If you really like this session, then I'll just keep on scheduling on every week basis. So if you want to see more of these sessions, then please note down into comment section, or just send me some text message onto my YouTube channel or in the community post. Then I'll just keep on creating these sessions. Uday, I have 3.3 year of experience in startup, but all I startup I have joined, they don't use Kubernetes, and I don't know Kubernetes because I'm not getting selected in interview. I got layoff. What to do? Don't just focus on Kubernetes. Try to learn other services. It's just not that Kubernetes is the only services used everywhere. Just focus on other other services onto the cloud. So that's my say over there. The Helm playlist is ultimate. Is there similar on Kubernetes? I created few of the sessions back in the days, but those are quite old one. But I'll try to prepare something new for Kubernetes as well. I have 3.3. I have answered those. Sai Kumar, you and your explanation is awesome, Rahul. Frank to speak. I learned from you. I'm giving the training to few people. Oh, great to hear, Sai Kumar. Thanks for that. Gaurav, hi Rahul, can you please help me create a content, help to create a content on CloudWatch? Okay, so I'll try to prepare something on a CloudWatch and log management that I'll try to do. Harshal Mitkari, I'm a Python developer. I know how to run Python application, but I don't know about Java, JavaScript application. Do I need to learn every technology to deploy DevOps? No, you don't need to learn every other technology. You should know some programming language, some programming concept, how to troubleshoot those programming issues, then you are good to go. You don't need to learn every programming language to be into the DevOps. Sanjay, could you create a video regarding ECS and cloud monitoring? Yes, I will create something in the future very soon. Uday, in final round, they come to Kubernetes only. Yeah, I think they have the strict requirement with the Kubernetes. Then just use kind minikube to practice more onto Kubernetes so that you feel more comfortable. So if companies are really looking for Kubernetes, then they have a Kubernetes requirement, and you should learn Kubernetes by practicing it. That's my say. In Node.js, a good programming language to learn along with the Python. I don't complain about any programming language. All programming languages are good. So there is nothing. If you feel comfortable, if you really like, then just learn Node.js. There is nothing wrong about it. Dasari Vinay, Rahul, you are looking similar to Sundar Pichai. Okay. I got a lot of comments. Is it so that I look like a Sundar Pichai? I don't know. Okay, so I think thanks, Harshal. I think will it be possible to make a video on ML machine learning? I'll see. I'll see if I can prepare something on the machine learning. I think I tried to answer as much as possible, and I'm reaching towards the end of this session, guys. So I hope I'll prepare something similar session soon, and we'll see you soon onto this channel. So keep following, and see you next time. Till then, take care and bye bye.